Alright, it's Kush Nefarious, and I'll do some fun little shoutcasting kind of deal in a Silver Flax game played by Sons of Capri Sun against a random team on the blue side. So, let's just get right into it. Let's just put this on directed camera and have some fun today. So we got Yasuo versus Swain in the top lane. That sounds like it's quite the spicy matchup. Sounds like Swain's gonna be cruising for a bruising. I really wouldn't want to be the Swain in that matchup, especially in the low reload brackets. That doesn't sound fun to me at all. In the jungle, we got Magath on Jarvan against a Twitch player, trying to creep in here, starting blue buff. An unorthodox start, you could call that. He's going to be headed back into the jungle. Do I see 4 wards? What? Do I see a Christmas tree in the jungle there? What? Are you guys just having a little laugh there? Alright, I don't know. I hope that was for fun. If it was for fun, then I really commend you guys for doing a good job at you know, doing a funny concept. Certainly hope it's not meant to be, like, appropriate, you know, like, hope that wasn't, like, yeah, those are the optimal ward spots. We're gonna do one over here and one over here, because, you know, this one gives a lot of extra information, you know what I'm saying? You really need this one when you already have this one, you know what I mean? Anyway, let's just keep going. Let's look at the bot lane. I actually didn't even look at mid lane yet. Got something on Corki against a Zed player called Smileless. Smileless. Yeah, that's his name. I mean, you know, they say you don't get to choose your name. Well, that's just not true in video games, but let's just assume that that's where he got the name. Anyway, bot lane, it's Revelio on Sivir and Stronger on Thresh. And Jarvan's getting smacked. That's too bad for Jarvan. Anyway, so let's see what we got on the other side there. It's Tristana and Janna. Well, that's a boring lane. Alright, Tristana Janna, go for that little bit of catch. In low elo, I like catch more than I do the enchanters, you know, just safely shielding up. I think it's a little better. Yeah, shift the camera around some more, directed camera. No, I don't want to look at one lane for 5 seconds. I want to look at all 3 lanes for 2 seconds. Pickles getting pickled on. If you look at it, there's no wards anymore. I wonder why. Did you guys use them all in, like, one location or something? What happened with those wards, huh? Just kidding. Just tickling your pickle. Okay, that actually sounds very wrong. I was just hinting at the name, but that's a little, it's a little iffy. Yeah, no, that doesn't work out too well, did it? Oh, wait, why are you going melee range? That's not how you kite. That's not, like... As soon as he takes turret aggro, you can just walk directly away from him. Let me take a look at that. Come on, let's take a look. Let's take a look. Alright, so. Okay, so, here we go. So, yeah, this is all fine and dandy, of course. You throw a bomb, which animation locks you and screws up all these minions. So now you would have to auto them like 7 times to make sure you get CS. That's not a good thing. Would not use the bomb in that case if your minions are either set up or they're not, right? You want to set them up. That's your goal when you're CSing under turret. That's the only thing you get to do during this time frame is set up those minions and space around accordingly. So yeah, that's not a good thing. But this turret shot is going to put this into lethal range. And you auto it, and you lose the majority of your income. And this minion you lose because, you know, bombing it apparently is not an effective tactic. And then we get this little situation here where you use your gap closer before someone actually gets the turret aggro. So now you just use your gap closer, you no longer have it available, even though they didn't auto you yet. So essentially, anywhere under this turret, you're equally safe. And anywhere under that turret, you can use gap closer to just create distance between you and him. Because there's no point of safety to kite towards other than the terrain away from him. If you use those resources before that actually matters, you're just wasting them, right? Because before he takes aggro, where you move relative to your turret does not matter. Right? So as soon as he does this is when you want to be kiting away. Right? So if he makes this little loop, you want to go directly away from him. If he kites over here, now you want to kite away. Always make sure you move directly away from him. So that would first have been over here, and then he moves here, then you move over there, right? You just completely just kite away from him like that. See, here you stay in melee range. You don't have to do the work here. You can just stay out of attack range, and that's it. Because you're going to get booped on the head with an auto attack and die, and give him Triumph and let him live if you get auto attacked. Alright, just a little bit of analysis there. I like throwing in a little bit of analysis when I do something like this. Not too much, just here and there sometimes, you know. Alright, let's actually put it back on directed camera. We got Santha and, Revelio and Stronger. That I just see the Stronger and then the Chan, and something in my head goes, Stronger than. That makes a lot of sense in this context, right? Yeah, we're really doing comparison here. Stronger than. Great. Okay, well, anyway. They're just hard shoving, as I call it. Which, in this case, denies people a lot of CS a lot of times. That's why wave management is kind of wonky in low reload sometimes, because shoving can be more effective than slow pushing. And McGuff gets a kill because of the epic wolf ward. Look at this ward. Look at this ward. This is not an appropriate ward, by the way. You want to make sure you guard this ledge, so that if they just walk directly into the blue buff, or directly into the Grom, that's the worst case scenario for your warding. You want to make sure you put it away, like, in such a way that when you move from the ledge towards the wolf camp, making sure you don't get obstructed vision over here, you move towards the wolf camp, right? You just stop when you would lose vision on this little ledge over here, and you'll have vision on the wolves. That's the way you can find a warding spot perfectly. Same thing over here, for example. You can just start on this little ledge over there, the point widest out, that still gains vision towards this general center of river, right? So what you can do is you can find that point over here. That's over here, and you just go directly outwards until you no longer get vision over this little ledge here, right? That's when you will also have vision very deep into river and over the scuttle path as well. Very important little detail about that ward. That's why it's used in pro play. Just those little warding spots. I just like talking about them. It's not what's going to get you from silver to diamond, but it is going to give you a little bit of context behind some of these fundamentals of the game. I just enjoy talking about it. It's just fun. Pickles and McGuff are just rolling over these guys. This is very, very good because obviously we got a lot of plates. If there was an Infernal to take in bot lane and you would lose it over this, then it's debatable. But now you don't lose too much anyway, so this is all fine and dandy, and they don't even get the Drake in the first place. So McGuff getting himself into a bit of a pickle. Yes, good joke. I know. Thank you. All right. We're just dancing around the bot lane, right? That's the most interesting thing on the map at the moment. That's just how it is. Twitch just getting his red buff, moving on to his Krugs, of course. No, just walking back and forth that red buff. That's what you do as a Twitch player. You just walk back and forth after you clear your camp and do nothing. Alright, he's going to be looping around here. You see Tristana just face planting into this. There's no reaction from the Thresh in the meanwhile. And Revelio is just taking the hits here. And imminent death awaits. Alright, let's take another look at that one, because that's a very interesting situation here. Tristana very blatantly telegraphing that there's the gank on the way. You see all these wonky positioning aspects, things, one jingies here. This is a good example of what you don't want to do. You want to make sure that, if you think about escape paths, and the likeliness that you'll hit an ability, think about it for a second. If some, ideally, now my little writing tool just got destroyed. That's not what I want to have happen. Alright, well, anyway, so what happens here is, like, their escape path over here is directly down, and their escape path over here is directly away, right? Or, like, in this angle. So you want to make sure that your hook or your linear skill shot lines up with their traveling path, right? Their escape path. So that ideally, if they even choose to sidestep it, they're walking into two people here. They might be walking into flay range. You can just keep cutting them off over here and just wait for them to make this little crossover, because they can't walk backwards, they can't walk forwards. This is a little choke point after they cross it little ledge, right? Where they're kind of blocked by this piece of terrain. They can't dodge freely in this area, right? So if you think about where you're standing and the fact that you can deny them one of the two escapes if they move over here, that's where you want to throw your hook. And also make sure that if you realize that they're telegraphing the gank in the first place by walking around and doing wacky stuff, then, you know, you can keep the hook to yourself for a second. Like, this was pretty wonky, right? Like, the ways that she's positioning here, but, Reading ganks, like, for example, reading here that there's a gank incoming is one of the most fundamental skills in League. I've been told by another great coach, did I say another great coach? Yeah, I just said that. I have a Gamepedia page, dude. Nah, just kidding. I mean, I do, but it's like, you know, I'm just joking around with it, of course. The point is, like, they said that wave management becomes very, very much the most important thing in pro play, but in lower elos, it is reading ganks, preventing yourself from dying to ganks. Trading appropriately and not dying to ganks is 80% of what helps you to get out of low elo. Then you can get some last hits in. Then you can get some wave management in, but that is not the majority of it. If you recognize you're being ganked and you trade favorably, you are unkillable Demon Lord. Yeah, and as you can see here, we're not quite at that point yet. Like, hey, Tristana's walking through the minion wave even though she should be farming safely under a turret. That's strange. You'd say that they would play that differently, wouldn't you? And there's also, like, the skill of reading what is just general badness and reading what is actually, you know, your opponent's telegraphing a gank. Now, this is very awkward, right? This is an HP value where you can just get all in with Flash and Ignite and you just roll over and die. So you should just be aiming to kill this cannon. This does not kill the cannon, so it's extremely unfavorable, right? You want to keep... This rocket should be aimed at the minion wave, and I think you would die if he just... Like, if he, for example, if he shadows in this and just ease, auto, Q, ignite, he would do well over 300. He would do like 500 damage. If you were half HP, you would still be dead. And you also walk into this Q. You gotta walk away from that Q, right? Especially since you know from melee range you can't dodge that Q anyway if it's hit center mass, right? So you can't dodge it at all. It's impossible from a certain range. You want to get a feel for where the range is where someone can hit their ability center mass and where the range starts, where they have to start predicting it. That is a very important concept in League. Knowing center mass versus prediction. It's a certain range, right? Certain cutoff. Just like with Yasuo Tornado. If you're in melee range, you can't dodge your Yasuo Tornado unless you have some sort of dash or whatever. And you gotta get a feel for that in all those varying situations. Alright. It's a lot of micro, There's some 3-manning mid lane. Look at this coordination, dude. Look at this coordination in the flex game. We're just flexing on the haters here. We're going towards that Herald. We're not getting any plates. A little bit of hesitation there. That's fine. Happens in high elo teams as well. It's completely acceptable. You can be like, oh, yeah, I guess it's gonna be quite hard actually. Let's do Herald. Yeah, that's completely fine. Like, completely acceptable. This is very, very dangerous. If you know perfectly, like if you asked me, where's the Zed right now? If he's in the rush, you're dead. 100-0, easy, like easy, not even close. He wasn't there yet, but I would be fucking pissing my pants if I didn't calculate that down to the very microsecond. Like, if he was just, like, roughly over here towards the bomb plant, you would die here, right? Especially since you're kiting back and forth. You don't seem to be too scared of, like, what if Zed is here? That anticipation. It's all about that planning and awareness. Like, what's going to happen next on the enemy team? We have a plan. We know that plan, right? But what's their plan? That's the real question. What are they gonna do to screw you over? They're gonna bring Zed in. That Zed's level 9. That Zed has an item. He has 1.5 items. Look at this guy. He's gonna crush you guys. He doesn't need to... He's suiciding on Pickles for no reason. He already gets him with the R. I don't think he should be ulting on the Pickles in the first place. That is a little bit too sour of a pickle to bust your teeth on at this point. Look at this. Maybe he wanted doubles, but I don't think this is appropriate. He should just be going on to Santha. Like, here the problem is, like, Pickles is actually really smart. Pickles gets Zed killed here because he's kiting into him instead of away from him. He's already dead, so he might as well just force the Zed to be right on top of the same space and getting hit by every single ability here. See that? He can't juke anything because Pickles is like, I'm gonna just tank everything and roll over, but he's gonna die. which is really good. That gives Santa the doubles. That was actually an epic outplay. I don't even know if it was intentional or not, right? If you actually did that with that intention of making sure he can't juke, or if you were just like, I'm gonna try and juke by going in here. That's hopefully not the case. But either way, I don't care. It worked out great. Worked out very good. So, just getting casually run down here. Just when you heart shove the wave, right? Heart shove the wave. Your mindset here. What are you gonna do? Are you gonna deny anyone? Are you gonna do anything? No. Just heart shove the wave. You have doubles. You have doubles. You just picked up gold. You have another component, right? Go base. Go get your stuff. Go make sure that you get into river, for example, as well. Whatever you want to do, you want to heart shove, right? I think this would be an excellent time to start scouting for the next movement of the Twitch, because Jarvan is actually getting quite a few items, and Twitch has completely been negated, and Jungle is level 6, he has no items completed just yet, which means that he has a lot of camps up. If you spot him on one, you can go to the other side and just kill him there. This guy's probably going to do some wacky clear and then go top side, and if you spot him on the wolves, he's dead. Something like that. I'm going to predict that. There he is. That's one camp, blah, 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 blah. That's two camps. Yada, yada, yada. See where he goes. He goes into bot lane. Well, alright. Well, no, not really. Oh, yeah. Auto into the wind. Auto into the wind wall 7 times Twitch. That's how you want to play the video game. Yep. Okay. Alright. And he just does some random shit here. Gets a bunch of kills. Fair enough. Which, you know, if we had a ward on him, you know exactly where he is. That might be a little bit easier to deal with in that case. But admittedly, he was in the lane for a while, so it's more of like a random fight where two sides evaluate it differently. It's usually like a sign of emotional bias, because honestly, if you think about it, you should kind of... if in lower elo, what I notice is that oftentimes both sides disagree with the evaluation, which is like very unusual. If you show it in a database or something, you should show 10 clips, then most people will agree. Like, there's not a lot of contentious situations in League of Legends. Like, usually one side is clearly favoring the other one, especially in low elo where the advantages and disadvantages are usually bigger, right? So it's usually not very difficult to figure that out, but it's more like, you know, this guy's over there, we can kill him with these guys, you know what I mean? There's all these extra variables involved, rather than just what's the best move. That's a very big impactor. Usually I win lanes. If I play in Silver, for example, I win most of my lanes on cannon minions. Big things that kind of impact someone's mental. That will cause someone to infeed into a minion because they know they can't, like, approach it, but they're gonna try and sneak up to it and then they just roll over and die. That happens a lot, especially in Darius, for example. Like, it's really hard to get advantages with Darius and high elo, but in Gold and Platinum, people are just gonna in for the cannon minion. That's how you get there as a Juggernaut. Just roll them up in a little bag. They try and get out. You apprehend them back into the bag, and you put them away for good. Alright, the Pickles with the nasty 1-2. The 1-2 EQ. He's nervous, but on the surface, he looks calm and ready. His palms are sweaty. He's nervous, but on the surface, he looks calm and ready. Look at that double rhyme, and then there's nervous and surface. Surface and sweaty. Oh my god, it's just amazing. Amazing line. Mom's spaghetti. There's vomit on the sweater already. It's actually so amazing. Anyway, so let's actually keep going. Something going in here for the big one. Takes it home. Flashes away from Majana with like 1,000 health. Debatable decision there. It's what I call panic. That's what I call panic instead of calculation. If you just look and calculate at what abilities are ahead of you. Okay, I'm gonna get hit by these two rockets, these two auto attacks. He's gonna go like E, auto, auto, auto. Misses his E. Okay, I'm gonna get less damage. So, you know, you hit him with the 1. Boom. Like, who's healing here? This guy has 700 health. 700 health is a lot of health. That's not, oh boy, he's at 100 and maybe the Jenna auto auto, whatever it is called, Zephyr. Zephyr deals slightly more than 100 damage. That's about 130, which, you know, gets reduced a little bit by a quarter, so that's like 25 reduced. That's about exactly 100 damage. If you had 100 HP and Janna like auto W's, I would heal. You don't need the flash in that case, though. And if Janna had to ignite, which she doesn't, then you'd be toast. Yeah, okay, in that case, well, 100 HP and she has ignite, I would flash away preemptively, not even bother with the heal. Again, you only need 1 out of 2 in that case. And in higher elo, you want to be calling out what you're going to use and how, right? You want to have people request the summoner, let's say, like, heal me, right? Something like that. And it should be clear whether you need to flash, heal, or both, right? In this case, you need neither, and it's not even it's in another universe of damage. Like, if Janna got 8,000 gold right now, she would still not do enough damage to warrant burning any summoners there. Either of them, right? Like, if you think about it, right? Like, Janna's AP ratios are like, what is it, a half? So if she had 1,000 AP, 1,000, yeah, you heard that right, she would not give enough damage. Like, she would not do enough damage with her W. It's crazy. It's like you're not reading the health bar. You're just like, I'm being knocked up, there's stuff happening, and I'm panicking, you know, flash. Usually what I notice, I do this in my own gameplay a lot sometimes, like, usually with tighter margins, but I still do it, the same concept. And usually what it is, let's say before the tornado, I think I need a flash. So I'm getting knocked up, and at that point I'm spamming, and towards the end of it I'm like, oh wait, I don't need a flash, and then I've already committed to that. I'm already spamming the button, and I'm like, I wasn't reevaluating during that knock-up. That happens a lot. It's this certain effect. It's like, call it like mental rigidity, or like the rigidity of a plan. You know, you're just sticking with this plan in your head of flash, even though the situation's changed. That's something I notice with myself a lot. That's something, if I were able to coach that consistently, I'd be a really good coach, wouldn't I? Well, that's a hard one to solve, quote unquote. Oh boy, you have a spell shield. A lot of League of Legends comes down to reacting to animations as well. Like, reacting to what people are doing and why they're doing it. Oh, they're doing this, I'm being ganked. They're doing that, I need to press this button. So here, the question is, can you kill anyone? And the answer is, fair. I mean, look at this, right? So, you gotta respond to these people. Not to this person, but these people, right? Look at this positioning, right? You gotta have close, direct inputs in front of you and react to the people in front of you. Especially if you're an AD carry. Usually, hitting the closest target in front of you is usually what you want to be doing. A lot of people think that AD carry is about picking the right target, but 99% of it is just autoing, just doing damage, just kiting everyone down, gaining map control, or, you know, winning a team fight through the DPS that you're dealing. So it's completely fine here to not commit to this kill. Here, you're already almost kiting into this Tristana. You want to be trading auto attacks and standing on maximum range before the Z gets to you, right? And here you see you just, and then now you're almost in melee range with this guy, which is not optimal, right? You're getting chunked out real heavily. And this, do you see that animation? You see that little Tristana boop thing? You have a spell shield for that. So, unless you're looking at the minimap at that moment, you should be able to tell that you're being ulted by Tristana. You can spell shield that. Right, so you can see that right here. So you can see this play once more. Okay, so auto attack, blah, 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 right? And now she's going... See that? It's a big ball. It's a different animation. It's a... right? It's a weird little animation that she does that you can get used to. And if something like that happens, you should be like, oh, wait a second. What just happened? What's going on there? Because that's a really, really, like... Essentially, I try to play, the way I try to approach the games, I try and do less than 2 big blunders, and sometimes I end up doing 0 in a game, sometimes I do 3, sometimes 4, usually not more than that. That would be very exceptional. let's say, missing a gigantic animation that I can react to and get, like, a whole bunch of kills with, like a horde of kills. I can flash, I can do everything I want to get all those kills there. That would be what I would call a gargantuan blunder. Because it's going to change the flow of the game. Like, if you get 3 kills there and you get another item, you just steamroll their tier 2, you get Drake, you get everything. That's kind of the end of the game. So you gotta understand, like, there's only so much time in the video game. You only got so much stuff to learn and to do. And the animations and just reacting to them is just such a big part of it. Figuring out center mass stuff, figuring out escape paths, figuring out intentions, reading ganks. They're all based on just tracking your enemies closely and accurately, like, through sustained periods of time. So, yeah, let's just keep going. We got a good example here. What I see a lot of times in quote-unquote lower elo is not really setting up a vision around Baron, or even going for the vision setup even though it's not needed. For example here, if you really want a good vision setup, you can deep ward. You don't need these super shallow wards on the edges here, right? Especially not 2 of them at the same time. Like this one thing, this is essentially like you can remove this one and you have the exact same entrance cover. You shouldn't think of wards as a circle of vision, right? You should think of wards of ways to spot particular routes that people can take, certain pathways people can take on the map from point A to point B, right? And if you think about point A to point B in this case, it's like point A and point B are exactly the same for these 2 wards, right? You're gonna go from Raptors to Krugs. Well, this won't spot that. If you put it, for example, if you put that one over here, you can spot everything. If you put, for example, one more ward over here, you have a combination with this Raptor ward over here, but what if they come from another angle, or they come through the bomb plane, you have one over here, right? You kind of cover all the entrances into river that way, right? So let's say you have one more on Krugs that scouts this little ledge over here, and minions are over here. There's no way someone can get into river without you noticing with that kind of vision setup. Now, that's not a setup I would go for in this case. I would be setting up vision on the other side of the map, because you got a Drake anyway. They can bolt in there with everyone they have. You're still going to get it. So you want to make sure you set up vision, especially if you go base. Now, they don't have a great team to do Nasher with, so they're not going to be able to do it anyway. But that's your general, that should be your general contemplation on a Baron, on a Drake. Like, do I need vision set up? How do I get it? And kind of just get the other objective for when we base and lose control, right? We're going to lose control. You want to be thinking ahead. What's going to happen after this, right? What's going to happen after we do this push? What's going to happen after we do this dragon? What is going to happen, let's say, after we complete a Nasher? Are we going to do, like, are we going to leave dragon up? Just push? If they do dragon, what's the big deal? We just push their base, right? There's a lot of considerations that follow from planning ahead. Alright, that's a Flash Reno. Nice little, that's actually like a big deal. It's a huge deal. Pickles just roam through the jungle alone. It's not what I want to see. Pickles, think of your heart, man. That's not what we want to see. Just safe and sound, right? If you're ahead, you usually don't need to take any risks by wandering through the jungle unwarded and alone. You can see this vision setup didn't really pay off for Pickles in this case, right? When we have this amount of control. Alrighty. Okay, I mean, if Tristana wants to play like that, she can. What? So, look at this, right? So look at where Tristana is right now. Look at where Tristana is right now. Like, what is her escape path going to be? It's going to be towards the turret, right? So if you cut her off towards the turret over here, see that? Like, you don't need to boop her. You don't need to hit her with the boop. You're going to, like, 1 or 2 shot her. Like, if you rocket auto, she's dead. 100%. Even without crits, she's going to be dead. Let alone if you manage to land a crit, 15% chance, not very likely, she'd be, like, completely gone. So what you can do is just cut her escape path off, right? Because she has to step over the, whatever the zone is called, whatever the is called, right? The package. So, you can just cut off the escape path. It's a recurrent fundamental theme in all of League of Legends. And you make sure you hit the auto. You don't just go ER, right? You make sure you hit the auto because you got a Triforce proc in there, right? That Triforce, that Spell Blade, that's a bonus infinite amount of damage that you also guarantee to hit. That means you put it in cooldown, you can recharge it. Has a high cooldown efficiency, just like your auto attacks in the first place. So, Trinity Force based auto attacks have an extremely high cooldown efficiency, or an extremely high efficiency of using them as soon as you can, right? The higher DPS some ability deals, the more you want to put them on cooldown first, so that they can already recharge. Your ultimate is like you're just gonna time it for the best possible time, right? You're not gonna pick like you're not just gonna do it early on just so that you get a few seconds of cooldown while you fight. That's not really the point of using your ultimate on most champions that actually have a real big ultimate, right? So you see here, you guys are just pushing it out. You don't need the 5-man because you're really far ahead. They don't really have any hard engage if you just leave. But obviously, I mean, as you can see, right? 5-man, if you make that kind of mistake, at least you don't lose. It's a kind of macro mistake that won't lose you the game. If you split up while you can't, you're gonna roll over and die. If you group up while you should be splitting, well, you're just like a 5-man unstoppable group sieging down the mid lane. Like, what do they want to do? So it's an easy, surefire way to get decent value, but it's gonna hit a wall as you climb at some point. Alright, so you guys are gonna just kill everyone, kill the Baron, kill everyone. I believe it from here. It's not gonna be too interesting, probably. I mean, closing out games, it can take a while often, but it's always the same principles that come up. Yeah, I can talk about those hundreds of times, but that's it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys another time.